Welcome to Bravo and Brava and episode number 6 of the Italian Americans in Hollywood podcast. I'm Daley Giacopella,
I'm Sadie Bruni.
and we are so glad to have you here today. We're going to be talking about Lorraine Bracco.
Yeah.
She's just such a captivating presence on screen, and she's been around for decades, and she just brings this strength and vulnerability to her roles. I mean, what do you think? What do you think it is about her that makes her so authentic?
I think it's got to be her Italian heritage.
It's gotta be.
I mean, her father's family is from Rome. Her mother's family is from Naples.
Wow, so we're talking the two most iconic cities in Italy.
Exactly.
Wow, that must have had such a profound impact on her growing up.
Oh, absolutely. You can see those influences in her work.
Yeah.
That fiery passion from Naples,
Yeah.
that timeless strength from Rome. And she's never shied away from her heritage either.
Right, and you know what? You're right, and I never even thought about it that way. But in an industry where stage names are the norm,
Right.
she kept her birth name.
She kept Lorraine Bracco.
That speaks volumes about her.
I think so.
Yeah,
About her confidence, about her background.
it really does. It really does. So Lorraine, she was born on October 2nd, 1954, in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn.
Bay Ridge.
I always heard that's kind of a real melting pot of cultures.
It is a real blend, a real mix.
Yeah.
And you can see that in her family, too. Her father, Salvatore Bracco Sr., was Italian.
Okay.
And her mother, Eileen Molyneux, was English with French ancestry. So
Wow.
talk about a mix.
It really is a tapestry.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting to think about how all of those influences growing up in that kind of diverse environment might have affected her acting.
Oh, for sure. I mean, think about all the languages and the customs and the perspectives from such a young age.
Right.
Really broadens your horizons, makes you adaptable. And I think that's essential for an actor.
Right. Absolutely. Now, before she was a household name, she had some surprising jobs.
She did.
She was a fashion model in France
She was a fashion model.
for Jean-Paul Gaultier.
Jean-Paul Gaultier, one of the top designers in the world.
And that is so far from the streets of Goodfellas.
Right.
That is incredible.
Totally different world.
It's hard to picture her as a high fashion model.
Oh, I know, but it's true.
I mean, I would love to see pictures.
But think about the confidence that takes.
Oh, yeah.
The presence to be comfortable in front of the camera, to know how to embody a certain look or feeling.
Right.
Those are all skills that translate to acting.
Absolutely. And she was also a disc jockey
She was.
for Radio Luxembourg.
Radio Luxembourg, yeah.
When was that? Was that before or after modeling?
That was during her time in Europe.
Oh, okay.
She was always willing to try new things.
Wow.
To push herself to step outside her comfort zone.
That's incredible.
Isn't that valuable for an actor?
Oh, absolutely.
To be able to think on your feet, to improvise, to engage an audience.
Yeah.
I mean, these are all skills she honed early on,
Yeah.
and that really paved the way for her acting career. And, it's interesting, even though she transitioned to acting seamlessly, her first film role was not love at first sight.
Really?
She's talked about it in interviews.
Oh, wow.
She was cast by the Italian director Lina Wertmuller
Okay.
in a film called Camorra.
Okay.
But she found the whole filmmaking process kind of boring at first.
Lorraine Bracco board.
I know. It's hard to imagine.
It's hard to imagine.
This ball of energy being bored,
Right.
but then something clicked because she ended up taking acting classes with the legendary John Strasberg.
Wow. John Strasberg.
Yeah.
What a mentor.
I know.
That's amazing.
It was with Strasberg that she really fell in love with the craft.
What do you think he saw in her?
I don't know, maybe that raw talent waiting to be unleashed.
Maybe that determination that she
Yeah.
had from those earlier jobs. Who knows?
Who knows?
But whatever it was, it led her to a career that has touched so many of us.
It has.
And if you are enjoying this conversation,
Yeah.
please subscribe for daily podcasts from Bravo and Bravo.
Yes, please do.
And so let's get back to Lorraine's journey. And of course, we have to talk about her breakthrough role.
Yes.
Karen Hill in Goodfellas.
Oh my gosh, such an iconic performance.
It really is.
It really cemented her place in Hollywood history.
It did.
That scene where she's frantically packing a bag, terrified that the feds are closing in. I mean, a pure cinematic gold.
She completely embodies that fear and loyalty and desperation that makes Karen such a compelling character.
She does.
And no wonder she was nominated for an Academy Award for Best
Yeah.
Supporting Actress for that role.
That role, absolutely.
That's got to be a career highlight,
Oh, yeah.
even though Goodfellas is probably her most well-known role. her career is just filled with so many other memorable performances.
Yes.
Like The Basketball Diaries with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yes. Oh, such a dark and powerful film.
Yeah.
And she was phenomenal in it.
Oh, and Medicine Man with Sean Connery.
Yes.
I mean, talk about range.
Total opposite genre.
Showing her incredible range. Yes. And speaking of range, we can't talk about Lorraine Bracco without talking about Dr. Jennifer Melfi in The Sopranos.
Oh my gosh. Yes, such a groundbreaking show.
It was.
And her portrayal of Dr. Melfi with all the complexities of that relationship with Tony Soprano.
I know.
Absolutely captivating.
It was.
And she was nominated for multiple Emmys.
Yes, she was. And Golden Globes and Screen Actors Guild Awards.
He was?
Yeah. And then there was Rizzoli and Isles, where she played Angela Rizzoli for 6 scenes.
Yes.
She's really comfortable moving between film and television.
She is, and she excels at both.
She does.
But you know, it's interesting. Even though she's been nominated for all these prestigious awards,
Yeah.
4 Emmys, 4 Golden Globes, 3 Screen Actors Guild Awards,
Yeah.
she's never won an Oscar.
You're kidding.
I know.
No idea.
It's unbelievable considering the impact she's had on Hollywood.
I know.
But maybe it speaks to the depth and breadth of her work.
Right.
She's not chasing awards.
Right.
She's choosing roles that speak to her.
Exactly. And she's drawn to those great stories, whether they're on the big screen or the small screen.
She is.
And it really shows in the choices that she's made over the years.
It does. I mean, they really have resonated with audiences for decades.
They have.
Her legacy as an actress goes so far beyond any trophy or accolade.
It does. You know, there's a story about Lorraine that I read in one of the articles that you sent.
Oh, yeah.
And I just have to share it from her time modeling in Europe. And it kind of blew my mind.
Okay.
Apparently, she was approached by Salvador Daley.
No way.
To pose nude for him.
Salvador Daley.
Yes.
Wow, what an incredible opportunity.
Right. I mean, can you imagine?
Yeah, to have that glimpse into the mind of an artistic genius.
I know, but she turned him down.
She did.
Even Salvador Daley couldn't convince Lorraine Bracco.
That says something.
I know. It really shows how strong her sense of self is.
It does. And speaking of impressive,
Yeah.
Did you know that she's fluent in 5 languages?
No.
5.
You did it.
No. Italian, Spanish alone, French, Arabic, and Japanese.
Are you serious?
I am serious.
5 languages.
5.
That's insane. I can barely handle English.
I know it's a testament to her intelligence and her work ethic.
It really is.
And I think it also points to an adventurous spirit. I mean, learning a language, it's a journey into a whole new culture, a whole new way of thinking.
Yeah, it's inspiring.
Yeah.
It makes me want to dust off my old Spanish textbook.
You should.
I know I should. But back to Lorraine.
Okay.
I think one of the reasons she's had such a lasting impact is because she's never been afraid to play complex characters.
You're right.
I mean, whether she's playing a mob wife or a psychiatrist or a police officer's mother, she brings such a depth and humanity to every role.
It's that commitment to authenticity, you know?
Right.
She's willing to explore the darker sides of human nature, the flaws and the contradictions that make us who we are.
Yeah.
Her characters feel real because they're not perfect.
They're not.
They make mistakes, they struggle.
Right.
And that's what makes them so relatable. We see ourselves in them.
We do.
Yeah.
Even in their most challenging moments.
And I think that's really a testament to her talent as an actress.
It is.
She makes us feel those emotions right along with her characters.
It's true.
It's pretty remarkable.
She's remarkable. And I think it's important to acknowledge the impact that she's had on other actors.
Oh, yeah?
Especially women in Hollywood.
Especially.
I mean, she's been a trailblazer in so many ways.
Totally. Her fearlessness, her willingness to take on these challenging roles, it's paved the way for a new generation of actresses.
It has. She's shown them that it's okay to be strong and vulnerable,
Yeah.
to embrace complexity, to defy expectations.
Right.
You don't have to fit into a mold to succeed in this industry.
You don't.
You can be yourself
Yeah.
with all your quirks and imperfections and still make a lasting impact.
That's such an important message,
It is.
especially in a world that tries to put people, and especially women, into boxes.
Yes.
And she has shattered those boxes.
She has done it with grace and humor and an incredible amount of talent.
And she's still going strong.
She is.
She's a force of nature.
What do you think she'll do next?
Who knows what amazing roles she'll take on next?
That's what I love about her. She is proof positive that age is just a number and that passion and creativity, they don't have an expiration date.
That's a beautiful thing to witness.
It really is.
It's inspiring for everyone, not just aspiring actors.
Lorraine Bracco is a true icon, an inspiration, a reminder that life is full of surprises. I mean, who would have thought that the same woman who walked the runways of Paris would spin records on the radio and become a Hollywood legend?
It's incredible, isn't it?
It's a testament to her adventurous spirit and her willingness to just embrace the unexpected.
She's never been afraid to take risks.
Never.
To step outside of her comfort zone, to forge her own path.
And that is what makes her journey so inspiring.
I think so too.
It shows all of us that we don't have to limit ourselves.
Right.
We can pursue our passions, we can explore different paths, and we can create a life that is rich and fulfilling.
And sometimes
Yeah.
the most unexpected twists and turns lead to the greatest rewards.
Mm-hmm.
Lorraine Bracco is a shining example of that.
I love that Lorraine Bracco, a true, original, a talented actress, and an inspiring human being.
Absolutely.
And she really is.
She's one of a kind. You know, one of the things that really struck me as I was reading through all this material that you sent is that even with all her success, she never forgot where she came from.
She seems very grounded.
She is, and she's always been so vocal about her Italian heritage.
Yeah.
I read an interview where she said that she was incredibly proud to represent Italian-American women in Hollywood.
Yeah.
She felt this responsibility
Right.
to portray them with dignity and authenticity.
It's refreshing to hear, especially in an industry that hasn't always been kind to certain ethnic groups.
Right, and she's used her platform to advocate for important causes, too.
Yeah.
Especially mental health awareness.
Right. You mentioned that earlier. I did read an article about her work with the National Alliance on Mental Illness.
Yeah.
And it sounds she's very passionate about breaking down the stigma surrounding mental health.
It's something she feels very strongly about.
Yeah.
And she's been very open about her own struggles with depression.
Oh, wow.
She believes that talking about it openly can encourage others to seek help and to know that they're not alone.
It's so important.
It is.
And it takes a lot of courage to speak out about those kinds of personal experiences, especially when you're in the public eye.
It does. It takes a lot of bravery, but that's Lorraine Bracco.
That is.
She's never been afraid to be honest and vulnerable.
Right.
And by doing so, she's helped so many people.
She's a true role model on and off the screen.
I couldn't agree more so. To wrap things up,
Yeah.
what are some of your key takeaways from all this?
Well, I'm definitely going to rewatch some of her classic films. That's for sure. But beyond that, I think what really resonates with me is this message of embracing who you are, taking risks, never giving up on your passions. She's proof that you can create an extraordinary life
Yeah.
by following your own path, no matter how unconventional it might seem.
Absolutely. And don't forget about that language learning goal you set.
Oh, right. 5 languages. Well, maybe I'll start with 2.
There you go. Baby steps. Lorraine Bracco is a reminder that it's never too late to learn something new, to challenge yourself to keep growing.
I love that, Lorraine Bracco. We salute you.
Here.
Thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe to Bravo and Brava and turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of our daily podcasts on Italian Americans in Hollywood.